Anderson with the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce. Every day people get up and go to work, and the interesting jobs that they have are what makes this program, Faribault Works, presented to you today by the Chamber, by TLT Productions, and by Faribault Community Television. So today I'm with Dana Anderson with Living Green Farms. And Dana, such an interesting business and new to Faribault. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we are a vertical farm operation that's looking to bring the economics of growing local food into Faribault, but also we think it has a much larger application, not just in this local economy, but can have a growing aspect where it could be spread to other parts of the country and also globally. And what we have in terms of the technology is really based on the economics, but it also is a very sustainable model. It actually is beyond organic in terms of the sustainability, and we could get into that a little bit later.
Okay. So one of the things we want to talk about in this program are the kinds of things people do when they go to work. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, how this company ended up in Faribault, and what people do when they come to work here.
Well, how we got in Faribault was, we were looking at Faribault due to some tax programs that were here.
Sure.
But as we were investigating our location, we got involved and got to know John Jasinski, the mayor. MedCon really stepped up to the plate in terms of answering some key mechanical engineering questions, and we thought that this is too good to be true. This community is so welcoming, and so after our experiences with those two individuals, we decided this was the place to be.
That's great. Now, when we've talked before, you mentioned other businesses and resources in the community that have kind of helped you along the way to get your business up and going. Do you want to mention a couple more?
Sure. I mean, probably the most key relationship to us is MRG Manufacturing. We had gotten our system to a certain stage, but we're having some mechanical failures. We brought Mike in from MRG, and he's just been a blessing to us, and really has shown the enthusiasm for the project, and really their whole team over there. It's just been a true blessing for us, and we've made great progress in working with Mike.
That's great to know. That's just one of the way Faribault works, is you can find resources and work with people, and collaborations are built that make businesses grow stronger here.
Right. Yeah, and the mayor, John Jasinski, did that introduction, so that was in the paper recently, but yeah, it was a game-changing introduction for us.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
So tell us about how this product came to be in production. What was the backstory to that?
Sure. My background, I'm an investment advisor, and after the 2008 economic crisis, decided that really the best place to be for investing is in food production.
Okay.
And as I researched traditional farming and hydroponic farms and greenhouse production, I stumbled into aeroponics, which was a real small niche that nobody had figured out how to commercialize. I did some research, met with Richard Stoner, who was the key researcher for the NASA aeroponic research projects for the Space Shuttle program back in the 80s and 90s. He told me about the challenges, and I thought of some solutions to overcome those challenges. We then took that concept and built a prototype, found that it worked, patented it, and at this stage we're working through the final production model and should be ready to go in production with our system here in about 2 to 3 months.
So you just spent about 10 seconds telling me about how long of a period of time from that concept to where we are today.
Right.
How long did that take?
So that was 2008. Really, I got involved in aeroponics in 2010. So this has been a 3-year full-time research project, really.
Wonderful. So we still haven't talked about the greens themselves. Tell us a little bit about the lettuce. I mean, we're seeing behind us something growing, and other shots we'll see how other ways that it grows.
Right. Aeroponics is unique in its ability to grow fast. If you grow plants in soil, the roots are matted around, obviously with dirt, and that prevents an oxygen exchange. Well, plants need an oxygen molecule to uptake a nutrient. When they get that oxygen molecule readily, as fast as it could be provided to it, the plants can grow 100% faster in an aeroponic system. Plants are literally suspended in air. You can see that here in this cup, actually, if I were to hold this up for you, how there's nothing more than a cloth that the plants are growing in, and a mist is spraying underneath on that lettuce to provide its nutrients. So that's how the plants grow. So they grow a lot faster. The second part of that is that the nutrients are atomized. In other words, they're broken up into very small pieces so that they can be readily absorbed. The difference between perhaps baby food and a steak and yourself digesting it. We're able to digest baby food a lot faster than we are a steak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the plants grow faster. And as a result of that, if you're doing indoor growing, the hydroponic method is the other.
Right.
That's about
We've heard of
50%, or about 50% faster than hydroponics. Well, in indoor growing, you're obviously using a lot of lights, so we're able to reduce the carbon footprint of the greens. We don't need any pesticides because this is a sanitary environment. There is no waste. All the nutrients get recycled. So, you know, in the soil, you put water on your plants and perhaps some nutrients as well, or fertilizers, but they of course get run off into the groundwater. So we use 95% less nutrients to grow. So you kind of combine all of these different factors together and you end up with perhaps the most sustainable model. In fact, this grow media is reusable that we're utilizing here, and can be
Looks like a little lily pad or something.
Yeah, well, it's actually microfleece, a baby blanket, and it's reusable, so we can take that and recycle it for every growth cycle. So there is no any waste in this cycle. So and that's very unique again. So
another green aspect of the business.
Right. The Living Greens Farm brand name has obviously a fresh living product, or it tastes like a living green right out of your garden, picked in the morning, and then of course the green living movement.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So right now you have 5 employees. What do they do?
Well, you know, they're really a wide variety. We're very blessed to have some very talented team members. Bruce Stockman, who you'll be meeting here shortly, he is going to be the president of our partnership program, and he can get into a lot more into that. We have Randy Hagan, who works with us. He's our grower, and he also is a professor and manager over at the greenhouse Carlton project, and he's you know, extremely knowledgeable in the growing aspects and has a passion for aeroponics as well. And then we have 3 support staff helping everybody do their parts: the engineering, the building, the planting, the seeding, all the different facets of growing. But because we're working through the engineering aspects right now, we're going to see a quantum change in the type of jobs that will be created in the future, which will get more into the operation. So we'll have people who are responsible for seeding and planting and harvesting and packaging and shipping and all the different facets of the growing operation, as well as the aspects of general business management.
Wonderful. So there's a lot of opportunity in the future for a company like this as it grows and employment opportunities make themselves available. And
yeah, you know, another real unique aspect of our system is that we're developing a environmental control initiative. What that environmental control initiative will do will allow us to manage the systems remotely. So the pump misting cycles will come on and off. The lights will come on and off automatically. The room temperature, everything will have a recipe, we call it, so that, you know, the early stage plants want a little something different than the later stage plants, so we can dial in those recipes. But more importantly is that you don't have to have a ton of experience in growing to be a part of this program, because as we learn more and more about what the plant's like, we'll integrate in the programs, will remember that. And again, being in Faribault has been a real true blessing, and some of the newspaper articles have led to some real key involvements from some other persons that have a lot of knowledge about this, that are helping us develop that controls program.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You mentioned earlier your background as a financial advisor, but what brings you here?
Yeah, I live in Prior Lake, and I grew up in Spicer, Minnesota. Spicer, where it's nicer.
Of course.
Yeah, and we really was attracted to Prior Lake because it's a lake community, just like I grew up on a lake. So the proximity was also an attraction for coming here as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Well, thank you very much. Yes.
We're going to come back and talk to Bruce in a moment and hear a little bit more about Living Greens Farm.
The Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce would like to thank Steel Waseca Cooperative Electric for sponsoring this episode of Faribault Works.
I'm Doug Hughes with Steel Waseca Cooperative Electric. We're the electric cooperative that serves the region around Faribault, Minnesota, and we feel that Faribault has many opportunities and that it's possibly the gateway to America, to the United States, because it's right south of Minneapolis-St. Paul with easy access to I-35, and they have an easy approach for airport traffic, rail, they have natural gas, and there's many industrial customers that take advantage of this close proximity to the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport, and also the small town community and the helpful community that Faribault is. And they have plenty of industrial land for businesses to develop and plenty of accesses off the freeway, and they have many supportive businesses in town, plus their Chamber of Commerce, which is a very good link to any help that anybody should need in the Faribault area.
We're still here at Living Green Farms, and I'm here with Bruce Stockman, who's the president, and he's going to be talking about the partnerships that this company is interested in forming. But first, I want to hear a little bit more about you, Bruce.
Well, that's very nice of you. I've been in agriculture all my life, and I've been involved in startup businesses as far as helping businesses get started, helping expand the economy in agriculture, moving farmers further up the value chain in one way or another. And I ran across Dana and this project, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, that's great. Tell us, though, about some of the agencies you've worked with and some of the organizations you've been part of. We'd love to hear that.
I worked for the National Corn Growers for a couple of years, and that's how I found my way to Minnesota. They were looking for a executive director for the Minnesota Corn Growers and their Research Promotion Council, and I was the one that they hired. And so my family and I moved here in 1990, and this is home for our family. And so I was executive director for over 18 years with Minnesota Corn Growers. We did a lot of things, and I think that some of that is reflected in how farmers are doing today in the economy. They're doing pretty well, which is good, at least crop farmers. Then I was working for an organization called Agricultural Utilization Research Institute, and AURI, that they go by, helps a lot of businesses get started. It's a nonprofit here in Minnesota. It's kind of a special organization, and they focus on both research and then project development, helping those projects come along. Dana was one of those that inquired about us, and we inquired about his business, and together we are working. AURI is working with Living Greens Farm on some projects, on trying to do some things they do well. They do some research and some project development, and we're very appreciative of what they do to help us. I've been here since January, working with Dana and Living